Hi, welcome to SBR TV. I'm Peter Loshak. We're going to look at the Belmont Stakes right now, once again joined by SBR moderator and horse racing expert Reload, who's given us good advice throughout the Triple Crown this year. Reload, thanks for being here.
Oh, it's great to be back in, Peter. Thanks.
All right, so we're going to look at the Belmont Stakes. And the Belmont Stakes, of course, is a mile and a half, so there's, you sort of expect the unexpected, a lot of surprises. So what do you make of this race overall? Who do you like? What do you think of Animal Kingdom?
I think, as I said in the Preakness, Animal Kingdom ran well in the Derby, and he came back nice in the Preakness as well. But there's too much going against him here. The value's now dropped to being a 2-to-1 morning line favorite, and aside of that, it's more distance to take care of at a mile and a half. You've also got a really big field here, a lot of confidence being shown throughout the field with one this big. A lot of trainers in the past, if they weren't confident for the Belmont, they wouldn't even try to bother entering horses, and the field would sometimes be pretty small.
So what do you think of Nehro in this race? Is he bred to run the distance? I noticed he had a very poor workout, a 4-furlong workout earlier in the week.
I think Nehro is going to be one of my top choices here. His trainer, Stephen Asmussen, passed on the Preakness and did it with good reason. I think that Nehro is more for the long haul and the bigger distances. It's a bigger closer. The workout, I'm not going to put much stock into it. I think that when you're going a mile and a half, what you're running 4 furlongs isn't going to matter a whole lot. It's really what you have left in the tank at the end.
Right, so Nehro is bred to go long distance?
Oh, that's what I really feel, yeah. You've got A.P. Indy as his grandfather, who was a Belmont Stakes winner years ago. Got Mineshaft in his blood. And also, really, if you look at the recent races where Nehro closed to come in second, the closing kick that he had was really made quite some closing moves there in those races. And I think the stretching out of more distance should really help Nehro further, I think.
Okay, and then what do you think of Shackelford?
It's going to be very similar to some of his other races. He's going to go out for the lead, and it's going to be a matter of if he can hold it. And I think in a mile and a half, it's not really a race for front runners, so he's probably going to be fading in the stretch. Wouldn't be surprised if he completely finishes out of the money. But he'll run a good race. He's just not someone I'm going to have a ticket on, especially at the low odds he's about to pay.
Yeah, all right. And then out of the long shots, are there any that are maybe bred for the distance that might be primed for an upset?
Yeah, I've actually gone through the field, and you can take a look at one, for example, Ruler on Ice. Now, here's a horse that has not been in either of the Triple Crown races yet. He was in the Federico Tessio at Pimlico, which is really a prep for the Preakness that they have there, and came in a strong second, closed nice to finish a couple lengths back of the winner, Concealed Identity. That was a mile and a 16th he went there. He did go a mile and an 1/8 in the Sunland Derby just before that against some decent competition. Finished a nice third there with a closing effort.
What do you think of the fact that his top buyer was just 86, not even in the 90s?
I think that when you look at his buyers, they've at least been going up. Mm-hmm. And when you see that he's hitting 80s now, and as he stretches out in distance, I think what's just going to matter is what he has left in the tank at the end. As I talked about with Nehro, that's what he's got going. I think Ruler on Ice kind of fits that mold as well.
What do you think of Santiva? That was a horse I was looking at. Is he bred for the distance, or what do you think of that?
He's worth a look because if you look carefully, Sean Bridgmahan is going to be staying aboard here, and he was aboard in the Kentucky Derby. He finished 6th in the Derby, which I know doesn't seem like much, but was not backing up at the end. And I expect him to have something left at the end, and that's really what you're looking at for the Belmont. That was how I picked Drosselmeyer last year, who won the Belmont Stakes. He was just one of these underrated 3-year-olds that was kind of finishing 4th, 5th, out of the money a little bit, but always had something left.
So just to sum up, how are you going to be probably betting this race?
I'm going to be looking to put most of my win and place funds on Nehro. I think that even at 4-1 morning line, he's my really top pick of the major contenders in this race. I think the value has been lost on Animal Kingdom, and I don't think Shackelford can really go gate to wire here. So I'm going to toss both of them, and I'll probably fade them in matchups as well. And then probably save a few bucks to spread on a couple of the long shots. I talked about Ruler on Ice, and probably take a look at Mucho Macho Man also, who's back. He's going to switch riders to Ramon Dominguez, who we know in New York has done very well there. So it's an upgrade in the saddle, and at 10-1, I think he's worth a few bucks as well.
All right, we'll see how it turns out. Thanks, Reload.